Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I take a look at the leaked Alpha 3.11 PTU patch notes. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you guys so much for all the support. So Alpha 3.11 has finally started its Evocati testing over on the PTU. Let us go through the patch notes and see what's new for this initial testing release. So as usual, it doesn't contain all of the 3.11 features yet. Only a select few which CIG are wanting the Evocati to focus on. The testing focus is the front-end UI refactor, the new cargo decks, new space station layouts, and the Bearing BR2 shotgun. So for new features, in characters they have updated the character creator with some new head designs. Here is a couple of them. Nice to see that we're getting a bit more customization. In locations, they have added cargo decks, and it just says the usual. This is where we can handle all of our cargo needs, from dropping to picking up, buying new cargo equipment, and taking on cargo-related missions. Right now, there is no footage or information on whether any of the new cargo missions or functionality has been implemented, but the minute that I see some, I'll be sure to let you all know. For weapons and items, the Bearing BR2 ballistic shotgun is in, and it says originally designed for the military, Bearing decided to sell the BR2 to the general public after the initial weapon testers kept requesting to take on home. Featuring a semi-auto fire mode that can rapidly deliver devastating stopping power, the BR2 is the ideal choice for both offensive and defensive operations. I am looking forward to testing this weapon out. It is a drum-fed shotgun, so it should be quite interesting. In gameplay, we have the new front-end UI refactor. This is what we saw on Inside Star Citizen pretty recently. Updating to the new front-end menu UI to use the new building block system, adding options to the friends list to pin to the side of the screen, and button to clear all notifications. This is more just setting up for the future, allowing them to be able to add stuff like a Theatres of War button super quickly and efficiently. So nothing really too outrageous there, but good all the same. Now the prison commissary vending machines have been updated, allowing you to use merits to purchase items. And if you didn't know, these prison vending machines are kind of the starting place for normal vending machines in the verse. They're starting with the prison ones, getting them working first, and then that tech or whatever is required will roll out to the rest of the verse. They've also, in terms of prisons, made some enhancements. They've updated the escape route to add more complex gameplay steps for players accessing the escape routes. So throwing tier 1 has also been implemented. This is improving grenade throwing to make it more accurate and reliable, as well as expanding the throwing mechanic to accommodate other objects in the world. Very happy to see that's come in. That is a big quality of life update. They've updated space station interior layouts, so space stations have been adjusted to help players find their way around them. You can use the interior elevators to access multiple levels of the station, including the hangars and hubs, common areas, and the new cargo decks. There is a new hostility update. This is kind of revolving around the lore system. So acquiring a missile lock on a target is now considered a hostile action against either AI or players, which will allow them to attack the person locking them without being the aggressor. Now this is excellent and obviously makes total sense. If you're locking someone with a missile, before they couldn't really do anything until you'd fired, at which point it could be too late. So this at least gives them the chance to counter without becoming the criminal. Also, something to note which is being brought into the 3.11 build at some point is that players are now briefly offered the option to press charges or forgive on crimes committed against them. This is defaulted to press charges for crimes committed by non-party members and defaulted to forgive for party members should the notification be ignored. This also allows players lured into a party only to be killed to press charges after the fact, which is good. I didn't even know that happened. That's crazy. Also, organisers of massive PvP battles, this change is for you too. Assuming all parties involved are willing to forgive offences, you can duke it out without the fear of a crime start ruining the fun. They said they'll be keeping a close eye on this particular change to see how it can be improved going forwards and how it's being used in the PU. So that's quite a pretty cool update for the lore system. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but it is great that they're giving players the option to either press charges or not, because sometimes it could just be an accident, so hopefully that works out smooth. Anyway, moving on, they have added the Greycat ROC to be purchasable in the ship stores in the PU. It is 172,000 Alpha UEC, which is great, so people can now test that out And they have also added option to default select relative mouse mode in turrets. So for core tech, they have increased the max button limit for joysticks and controllers from 50 to 128, and the right mouse button and equivalent for the personal inner thought for back and exit on controller and flight stick should cancel and close quick select wheels. So some quality of life things there as well. Now for bug fixes, there are 18 major bug fixes. Some of them are mining nodes should no longer change composition if the player scans it, leaves the area and then returns. The diamond icon should no longer remain displayed after surface deposits have been mined. That's a good one. Space station ASOP terminals where you get your ships should now correctly show the landing pad for your ship. The carrack should no longer be missing the signed distance fields on the nose of the ship. Players should no longer be launched when exiting or entering EVA or end up in an unresponsive state when their client is running at a low FPS. Players should no longer tilt suddenly when exiting EVA into a ship if the ship has rotated. Players shouldn't take damage or fall out of a turret in the constellation if they exit the lower turrets. That's excellent to hear. That's happened to me a few times. And also players should no longer A-pose when interacting with the standing engineering stations in the Hammerhead, the Retaliator or the Vanguard. There has also been 4 client crash fixes and 3 server crash fixes, plus some other bugs. Now there are 13 known issues which include missiles and countermeasures are undergoing a small update that isn't complete yet. More details on these changes will be added once they're done. So I'm very happy to hear that they're able to make some adjustments here to help until they do the full overhaul next year. That'll make a lot of people very happy. Returning to the character customizer after accepting changes will cause UI options to become unresponsive, forcing a client restart. After initializing a quantum travel around New Babbage and Microtech, the player can be ejected from their seat, leaving them stranded in space. That's a bit of a crazy bug. Hopefully that's a rare one. Epilepsy warning when hitting an asteroid with a laser or a mining laser. The user can be met with flashing visual effects on the glowing asteroid, so do be careful of that if you suffer from epilepsy. Boxes spawned at derelicts render in and out when the player is in relatively close proximity. The player can die when moving to the center of a tram when in transit. That's a dangerous one. Boxes fall through the floor when arriving in the general vicinity of outposts. The mission does not progress further once the player arrives at a mining claim, so I'm glad they're aware of that one. Hopefully they can get that fixed up soon. And finally, ships can still be displayed as unknown after destruction and be available to spawn again, but will not appear on their specified landing pad. So quite a lot to take in there. I'm very happy to see that mid-September we are getting the 3.11 build to the Evocati. Firstly, let's hope that it comes out at a better time frame than 3.10. It looks like it's on track, but it's anyone's guess. It is great to see the lore system evolving, and the fact that they are working now on a missile countermeasure update to address those issues as much as possible before, as I say, the full overhaul next year. That'll make it more playable for a lot of people. Personally, I'm very excited to see these cargo decks and whether they will bring much in the way of gameplay. The ROC becoming purchasable in-game is a pretty big win as well for many, so that they can try it without needing to buy it with real cash. And the new throwing mechanic is one of these long-needed features that will hopefully just make grenades and other items throwable a much more smoother, streamlined system. I will continue to keep you all updated with the patch notes and whatever we get leaked, so do make sure to hit that subscribe button and tick that notification bell if you want to keep up with everything. Come and hang out over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. We will be discussing this over there, and if you can do me a favour, hit that like button as I'd really appreciate it. It does help the channel out. Also, I am able to make these videos thanks to my wonderful patrons and channel members, so if you would like to support the channel further, be sure to follow the links below to learn more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.